Excellent. There we go. Okay, cool. All right. Let's see. Okay, good afternoon, YouTube. I'm here to tell you guys that being a high performer does not make you immune to loneliness, burnout, or emotional disconnection. In fact, when you're constantly giving so much of yourself to your business, to your team, to your family, to your audience, you often forget the most important relationship of all is the one that you have with yourself. So, I am here to guide you into something that's profoundly deep. It's not about therapy for single people. It's about realignment with your higher self through the use of the Alkalign Lifestyle, where we bring your mind, your body, and your soul all back into balance and love and power. Okay, so singles therapy for high performers. If you are wired for excellence, and most high performers are, because they value winning, they value being the best version of the self that they possibly can be. They value first place. They value gold medal effort. They value doing the ordinary extra, meaning extraordinary. It's not that whenever you're considered a high performer that you are doing something that's different than everyone else is doing. You're just doing it all the time. So you have a consistency about yourself, a self-discipline about yourself that says, I'm a self-starting person. Nothing can stop me because that's just how I'm wired, because that's how I see success. The issue is that if you're like that, you tend to be conditioned to ignore your own emotions. That means that what you do is you then suppress your needs, and then your view of self-care is you kind of look at it as a chore, and then that's how you look at it as a weakness. So, love. When you say real love, this starts with internal homeostasis, balance, where you're looking at this and you're saying, when your energy is misaligned, so are your relationships. Okay? So let me express this. You can look at it from a case of people pleasers. You can't give from an empty cup. You can't attract wholeness if you're not actually living in it. That's what resonance actually means. I can't attract the things to me in my existence if I'm not existing like that right now as we speak. And so you can't build intimacy with other people until you've created safety within yourself. And this is where you begin to see the philosophy known as the Alkalign Lifestyle is not just having a neutral pH, it's also having all of your 7 chakras, 9 energy wheels, beginning with the root, which is your safety, the sacral, which is your pleasure, and then the solar plexus, which is your power. So if you're struggling with that, I can guarantee that most likely you have an imbalance in these areas. And so now this is where we're going to begin to build a foundation of self-love through energetic, nutritional, and emotional reprogramming. Okay? All right. Okay, YouTube, we're gonna dive right in. Okay, so let's start first off topic, which is gonna be the body. Because obviously your body is, it's your psychology. Listen to what this means. What this means is that people don't factor in the gut-brain connection. But the gut-brain connection is actually what controls your mood. Your gut is actually what controls how you walk through the space and your behavior throughout the entire day. The solar plexus, which is considered the combination of the stomach, the liver, the pancreas, these areas within here that converts the things that you eat and drink into your actual energy through ATP. And it delivers to you the light energy that needs to be consumed through the food. Now, we eat a biologic plant-based diet in Alkalign Lifestyle. And the reason is because real energy does not come from caffeine. It does not come from 5-hour energy or a Red Bull or processed sugar. It comes from living foods that communicate the light through your cells. And when I think of people that have the issue that stops them from having coherence, which is pretty much this whole problem of lack of homeostasis and coherence, they're eating and they're drinking things based upon their emotional place, not knowing that their emotional place is caused by what they eat and drink. I'll describe that again. You have a diet for every mood that you're in. You have a diet for when you're sad. You have a diet for when you're happy. You have a diet for when you feel powerful. You have a diet for when you feel fearful. There's a diet for everything. You eat a certain food every time you feel a certain type of way. And that is rehearsed. That's the pattern. So, first thing that you need to do is become hydrated. You need to become hydrated. And this is due to you have a lot of stored emotion inside your body, not trauma. It's not trauma. In Alkalign Lifestyle, we don't believe in trauma. We believe in stored emotion because it's supposed to be energy in motion. Everything is energy. Okay, so when people look at traumatic experiences, it's like having a car accident or getting in, injuring yourself, falling off of a chair or ladder or something like that. That's a traumatic experience because that's trauma that's been conditioned or caused to the body. When you have these internal issues, internal is just emotions that you associated with something that was dramatic or traumatic, like a car accident, even though you just walked into your house and your mom yelled at you or something like that. That's the difference, is that your associations to certain things are causing this. And usually people run to the refrigerator or to the Starbucks or to the bakery or the cookie shop or the candy shop to go make themselves feel better. They use the food to make themselves feel better. So what washes out all the stored emotions is hydration. But here's the issue. All stress that you are, I'll say, experiencing in your life is coming from dehydration, because stress is literally caused by dehydration. This was written in a book called Your Body's Many Cries for Water. It was Dr. Batman Geldy back in 1990, I believe. He talked about how many of his patients that came to him were coming to him, and all he did was provide them glasses of water and told them to take some Celtic salt or some pink salt on their tongue after they were done, and it would tell their brain that their stores for water were sufficient enough for the body to have what it needed. Because if you look at how your brain works, your brain takes 18 to 20% of all the water inside of your body, even though it's probably one of the smallest organs or smaller organs inside of your body. It is the most powerful, so it needs to have the most water. So think about this: high performers, entrepreneurs, CEOs, professional athletes, celebrities, people who are in the camera, in the public eye all the time, people who are on TV, interviews, whatever you're doing, you're running. So your mind's working. Now you're not understanding that you dehydrated because you haven't taken a sip of water within hours. So the entire time you're running on empty, meaning your brain is running and everything else is suffering because your brain will take all the water storage from your body, even though the rest of your body doesn't have anything. That's why you have to prioritize what's called negative ORP. What does that mean? Negative ORP alkaline water. Rather than go to the grocery store and go get Alkalign 88 or Essentia or things like that, don't. Focus on water that has a negative ORP. Now, usually we deal with people who can afford a Kangen water machine. That ORP is negative 639 ORP. What does ORP mean? It means oxidation, reduction, potential, which essentially means the water is antioxidizing. It's also mineralized. It's also charged up. Ionized water that's going to go through your body and electrify you. That's what you need in order to have communication, signal communication from your brain to the rest of your body. Okay? So this water is alkaline, structured water that penetrates the cells and flushes out the emotions that are stored inside your tissues. You also can do this with, fruit. Fruit also does this. Now you have two things. This water right here, negative ORP, is H2O2 change. Basically, it has an extra hydrogen atom inside of it. Now, fruits have what's called H3O2 change. H3O2 change. And some of the best fruit to hydrate you would be watermelons, would be melons of any kind, but watermelons I say are probably one of the top tier. Grapes, don't juice your grapes because you need to have the skin of the grapes. If you don't have the skin of the grapes, while you're consuming them, it raises up your blood sugar just a little bit too high. So you want to keep the skin of the grape because, believe me when I say this, the Creator gave you these things and it gave it to you in a way that is sufficient enough for you to thrive on them. So if you're traveling, pack it inside your carry-on bag. If you're going to places to go eat, what I tell you right now is to avoid things like alcohol. Avoid alcohol in the airport. Avoid coffee in the coffee shop. Avoid getting a latte or some tea or something with caffeine in the morning time. Avoid energy drinks at all costs because they don't provide you any energy. And what you realize that caffeine is what's called an adenosine blocker. Adenosine is where your energy comes from. Adenosine triphosphate. That's where it comes from. But it has to be converted and made through the cellular functions. Okay? So, using this concept of fruits, negative ORP water, that will get you to be hydrated. So then the food that you already eat, which should maintain a high level of fiber. You need to eat more fiber. And you need to eat, and so here's how I'll describe this. Vegetables are the builders of your body. Fruits are the cleansers of your body. So when you can have that balance in both, you'll be able to thrive. Easily, you'll be able to thrive. So grounding yourself, your nervous system, with daily mindfulness practices, that's going to be up next. Because what you need to understand about food is that when your solar plexus is on fire, that's a good thing. That's a great thing. Because that means your stomach acid is working. But if your plexus is lopsided, meaning you have too much in excess and your belly's hanging over your waistline, that's not good. Not in the least bit. Because then what's happening is you're going to be thinking and seeing the world based on greed, and it shows. So the enemy of this area of the plexus is shame. When you have too much shame. When you start to look at yourself and you're saying, I'm going to mask with my food, make sure you check yourself and ask yourself, why are you grabbing this? Why are you eating this? Are you even hungry? Because many times you're probably actually thirsty, not hungry. Okay? So here's up next, daily mindfulness practices. And we want you to ground, because grounding yourself is essential for you to feel safe. This is your root chakra area. This is a grounding cord. Go order these on Amazon. Simple little copper plate and an actual grounding cord that you can order. You should have these inside of your home office. You should have these inside of your home gyms. You should have these anytime that you're in a home and that you need to feel just taken aback by the energy of the surrounding area. When you feel disconnected, it's because you're not grounded. So if you're working too hard at your desk, I suggest that you do one more thing. Get yourself some actual glasses. These glasses help to take off the blue light. And if you're working into the night, you want to wear these glasses. These glasses help you because they take away all of those bright lights that are causing you to stay awake at night. Whenever you have screen time too close to the nighttime, too close to bedtime, you have trouble falling asleep. So those are two things for you to start the process of doing to ground yourself back to, again, achieve homeostasis. So lastly, we're talking about reprogramming your energy. We have 3 topics on this: training and exercise, orgasmic energy, and sound frequency through binaural breaths. First off, you have to unlock your chakra system, your energy centers that store all of your beliefs, all of your emotions, and all of your desires. Now, most high-performing people operate from the solar plexus. That's just how it works. Most high performers operate from a drive of power, and this is what helps them to be productive and become successful. But the issue is the energy has to go from the root, then sacral, then solar plexus. If you're lighting this one up, but without lighting these 2 up to get the energy to travel up the level of a snake, there's going to be an issue. Because now, if the root's not activated, you don't feel safe. And then above the plexus is the heart, which is then love. And then below the plexus is the sacral, which provides you pleasure. If you don't have the root to make you safe, the sacral to say what you're doing is providing you pleasure, and then the heart to say what you're doing is because you love to do it, you're going to have an issue. You're basically going to be going up an upward path to will yourself to do the things that you think you need to do, even though you don't love doing them. And this is how you get disconnected from yourself. So remember, the goal is homeostasis and coherence. What's the first thing we need to do? Create mobility and freedom inside your body. This is how you're going to train your body. Now, we give you a simple format. You can go 3 days, 5 days, whatever your ultimate goals are. Working with professional athletes, when I was strength and conditioning coach in University of Wisconsin Superior, 2014, I had about 180 athletes, stemming from hockey to golf to track and field to basketball to baseball. I had athletes of all kinds. And it was amazing to see, because I never played golf and I never played hockey and I don't play baseball. I'm a basketball player. But working with those athletes showed me that different athletes in different emotional stages of their life are causing them, through either hold on to emotion, which is causing them to move their bodies in certain ways, and they're not as fluid as they could be. So I got to watch just how training yourself in a different way helped them to free themselves from themselves. Okay, so strength through length training. This is a concept that I learned called the BMLT, Beginning Movement Load Theory. And this is a concept taught by a Japanese gentleman named Yasushi Koyama. He trained several baseball players, I think one of them which was Yu Darvish from the Yankees, Ichiro Suzuki also. I think Ichiro played for the Mariners, and he might play for the Yankees too. But these guys have a long-lasting longevity. And what Yasushi was talking about in his books, most of them are Japanese, but you can get them translated. What he was talking about was essentially the mind-muscle connection, where if you look at how you need to be able to be strong, to place your mobility in certain ways, in certain aspects, and move yourself in certain ways, in certain aspects, this is what connects to your brain and gives you that sense of, I can do anything. It's freedom. When you can move yourself, you're free. Walking up the stairs in a tall building, instead of taking the elevator, is free. I'm telling you. You may be rich and wealthy, 20,000 square foot, and you have an elevator inside your house. That is one of the most debilitating things I've ever seen in terms of wealth. That's not wealthy at all. You can't even get up and down the stairs inside your own home. That is not wealthy at all. So realize this, if you can find a level of not lifting in the gym based upon your ego or based upon the outside and showing off for somebody else, you can then train your body to be able to move in ways that you can see or are going to benefit you. So say you want to go and do simple things like just moving to the left and moving to the right, being able to do these things without pain, okay? Being able to open up your chest area, being able to move yourself in different ways. You want to be fluid enough to have fluidity. So I suggest you go to different modalities. Pilates class is great. Pilates is great for your core, and your core, I believe to this day, is always going to be your strongest muscle because it's what's protecting your spine and keeping you in alignment. It's keeping you upright. Also your thighs, so your quad muscles. So squats are great, but I believe front squats are great. And I also believe that you should use things like slant boards to get you at a certain angle and go up inclines. Walking up inclines is great for your cardio, increasing your VO2 max. Walking backwards is also great for your cardio and also increasing your VO2 max, which is basically your capacity for taking in air. When you do fitness of any kind, breathe through your nose. Do not breathe through your mouth. Breathing through your nose keeps you in parasympathetic state of mind based upon the autonomic nervous system. Breathing through your mouth gets you in sympathetic resonance, which then causes fight or flight mode. Okay? So that's the first thing, movement. Second thing, orgasmic energy practices. Learn this, that self-pleasuring awakens your life force and deepens your connection to pleasure and creativity. You have to understand that it's your job to pleasure yourself. But if you don't know how to pleasure yourself, it's because you never did it before. Most people chastise or condemn people for masturbation practices. But these things actually raise your vibration. It's not for you to sit there and do it and consume it in overconsumption, no. But you do need to understand, what do you like? Or you're never gonna be able to tell anybody, unless you're with you, what you like about yourself. Check yourself. Provide yourself with a personal sexual energy exam where you get to check things as part of your body, all right? Men, and this is big for men, women as well, but big for men, to check your genitals. Check the areas where you have hair, you have especially semen. Men, if your semen is dark brown or dark yellow, you're too acidic. That means that your diet and lack of hydration is affecting your sexual organs. Same thing with women. Women, if you have just discharge, vaginal discharge, like cottage cheese, you know, it's clumped together. It's not just water, essentially. If it has a sour or a certain smell to it, men too, your semen shouldn't have any kind of smell to it. It should smell like chemicals almost, kind of like fish. And so what I'm expressing is you need to check yourself for cleanliness. Check yourself. It doesn't matter how busy you are. It doesn't matter. And I'm telling you all that your diet is the direct effect of your orgasmic energy. If you do not take care of your diet, you do not have any orgasmic energy. And this is where you see the concept of orgasmic potency, okay, which are sexual potency, which is the ability to have sex, and orgasmic potency, which is the ability for you to receive pleasure and have orgasm. All right? High performance. Salesmen express their sexual energy all the time. Okay? Athletes. Expressing your sexual energy all the time. And you need to do it because that's what creates the vibration from the top to the bottom and links the entire chain. Okay? So, lastly, reprogramming through sound frequency and binaural beats. This is what's actually going to get you into homeostasis and coherence really quickly. Because when you play, you have 9 frequencies, essentially, will begin at 174 hertz, 285 hertz, and you have 396 hertz. That's for your root. Here's your safety. If you go to YouTube, you can find 396 hertz, 285 hertz, 174 hertz. You're going to feel safe playing these inside your headphones. Playing them overnight is even better. Also meditating to them on a product or topic, a problem or topic that you had struggled with in the past. So you have an answer for business or something, a problem with your business, a problem with your family, a problem with your team. Because I used to have teammates that were just, it was tough. It was challenging being inside the locker room sometimes. You know, and also when you're a paid athlete, you're still paid like an employee, but you're like a high profile employee. So being in the public eye a lot, it's gonna cause you to feel small sometimes. But if you can just maintain that level of coherence within yourself, you will not care about what everybody thinks about you. And that's why these things, these frequencies are very, very helpful. 417 hertz, 528 hertz, 639 hertz. These are gonna be your midpoints from here to here. 417, sacral, 528, which is gonna be your gut, solar plexus, 639, which is gonna be your heart. Then lastly, you're gonna have 741, 852, 963. That's gonna be the area up top, above the neck. It's gonna be your throat, 741, third eye, 852, and your crown, which is gonna be your pituitary gland, 963 hertz. These things are gonna get your body back in alignment. So practice these things. You can play them, you can find them, whole playlists for each and every one. They got sound bowls, Tibetan sound bowls, all types of things that you can just play while you're working. And you should do this when you're in your office or home office or any office. Just play some background music to keep you in coherent state. This keeps your ideas flowing, this keeps your concentration going, and this is what's going to help you to be able to establish, I'll say, coherence even while you're still solving big problems. 200 hertz as well, which is called lambda brainwave pattern. It's a gamma brainwave state, and it helps you to remember things, and also helps you to basically access your conscious mind and subconscious mind, but creates harmony and coherence and allows you to be vibrating and functioning at a high level. So those are some keys for basically how to reprogram your energy, change your diet, and fix the problem of homeostasis and coherence within your entire body. Okay? So this is the alkalign formula. So love is not, you don't chase love. You have to actually become this love. It's the frequency that you are embodying. When you're learning to live by universal law, not just emotional reaction, your life changes for you. Okay, so first thing that changes, you begin attracting emotionally available people. If you're not emotionally available, you protect your energy without guilt. You enjoy solitude without loneliness. You can be by yourself and not care. And when you create from your overflow, not from your wounded emotions trapped inside your tissues, you have excess energy now. That's what singles therapy is for high performers. This is what we actually express to you, that you need to think first in a way of selfishness based upon self-care. It looks like this in the new paradigm that you have. It's not about fixing what's wrong. It's about awakening what's always been right inside of you. So, in closing, if you're ready, stop chasing success, start embodying wholeness. If you're ready to attract love by becoming love, then I invite you to explore the Alkalign Lifestyle. Because when you heal your relationship with yourself, you heal everything else and it flows. You deserve to have a life where your power, your peace, and your pleasure are all aligned. Like this video if it spoke to your soul. Drop a comment. What are you working on your self-love journey? If you're ready to go deeper, click the link in my description below to apply for our singles, our Alkalign Lifestyle coaching and detoxification experience. All right? All right. See you in the next video. Love y'all. Peace.